I was employed as a support worker with 14 years with my previous employer. What happened was 8 years ago, I developed a disability, emphysema. So I was sacked on the 13th of July. The reason they said was there were some of my the tasks I couldn't do that I was employed to do originally.
So, sorry, Theresa, just let me interrupt 1 second. You said 8 years ago you were diagnosed, then you were sacked in July. Do you mean July just gone or July 8 years ago?
No, July just gone.
July just gone, okay.
Yes. And what they said was the main reason being I was a potential risk to life because I can't do CPR. However, I was never in any position to do CPR in the whole 14 years I was there. And there's other staff there that can do it. I'm at the point now I've lodged the case with the tribunal. I've taken legal advice and stuff and legal assistance. But when I go to the appeal, I'm not going to manage to pay for the legal advice. So I'll be doing it myself, the tribunal. And I was just wondering if you thought that was, if they could, that be a good enough reason.
Okay, so I'm sorry to hear this. And just for anyone who doesn't know, and actually make sure I've got this correct, emphysema is a lung condition that gives you shortness of breath. Is that right?
Yes.
And is it because of your shortness of breath that you can't do CPR?
Yes, but I've been unable to do that, Daniel, for 8 years. Since I was diagnosed with this condition, I couldn't possibly do CPR for anyone.
Yeah. Now, you say you're a support worker. That could mean a lot of things. In your job, might you have to do CPR?
Potentially, there could be, yes.
And do you ever work on your own or do you always work in pairs?
There's always other staff.
Do you work in a care home?
No. I'll tell you what it is. I'm not going to say the name. It's like a hostel, an emergency hostel accommodation.
Okay. So, and there'll always be somebody else on duty who can do CPR if you're unable to?
Yes.
And so I'm assuming you don't believe the stated reason for dismissal. You think there must be something else there?
Absolutely not, Daniel. Absolutely not.
Okay. And you first of all said you've got an appeal, then you said a tribunal.
No, when I say an appeal, it's a tribunal. The solicitor have lodged the claim has now been lodged with the tribunal.
Great. Good.
And what they're saying is it's like procedurally and substantively I was dismissed due to my disability, and it's wrong in law, they're saying, because they didn't follow procedures and whatever. Okay.
So they're absolutely right that they are entitled to dismiss you if, number one, you can't do an important function of the job.
Right.
And CPR will be an important function of your job, even though it would hardly ever crop up. It's obviously important. But, and here's the big but, number two, they've got to show that dismissal is reasonable given you can't do a function of your job. And if, A, it's partly caused by a disability, and B, adjustments could be made so that problem is avoided, i.e. by getting other people to do CPR in an emergency, then they're going to find it very difficult to justify the dismissal and very difficult to win your disability discrimination claim. From what you're telling me, I think you will win. It would be helpful, Theresa, if you could get some advice from a specialist lawyer. You said you can't afford it, and I understand that.
But Daniel, up to this point I have. But what I'm saying is I can't afford to proceed further with the legal advice due to I've used up the savings that I had.
Yeah, I understand.
And also it's going to be really difficult, given my age, Daniel, I'm 58 years old. For someone 58 years old with a disability to get another job now, I never had any time off. I've never been off. Then they tried to offer me part-time. I didn't need part-time. I wasn't off sick. I wasn't losing time off work.
Yep. So, a tribunal is not going to like the fact they've dismissed you for this reason, all the more so given they waited 8 years to do it. I mean, that totally undermines their claim that you had to be dismissed because you couldn't do the job. I'm assuming they knew about your emphysema 8 years ago.
Yeah,
did you tell them at the time?
Daniel, when I first told them about it, I asked 8 years ago, was there anything they could do to support me? And to be honest with you, when I was just diagnosed with this, I couldn't accept I had a disability, and I didn't want to bring any attention. And when I said to them, they said, "No, sorry, there's nothing we can do, but we'll give you a glowing reference."
Yep.
So I thought, well, unless if they want, they're going to have to sack me. I love my job, and I'm not leaving.
Yep.
So it just dwindled on, and nothing happened. And then now they've decided that they're going to sack me.
Theresa, have I answered your question, Theresa?
Daniel, you have. Thank you so much.
Good.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and good luck with that. It takes time to go through the tribunal process, and it's difficult, and it's emotional and stressful to do it, but it sounds like you've got the resilience and the courage to be doing it and making a good job of it.